Hi there. This time I would like to discuss some early stages of writing and the very beginnings of writing for the young child. And then I'd also like to discuss as your child moves into the beginning stages of inventive spelling and whether or not to encourage that behavior or discourage it. Let's get started. The first attempts at writing will come from a toddler. If you give a toddler a crayon, they're going to fill up a page with all sorts of colorful and delightful scribbles. So the real question is that considered writing? And the quick and simple answer is yes, it is the beginnings of writing. At that stage, even young children and toddlers are beginning to understand that there is a connection between writing and recording your ideas and getting your ideas down on paper. That's a very important step. In these very early stages, you will see lots and lots of scribbles, and occasionally you will find letters. Usually they will start off with capital letters. Those are usually learned first, and they'll usually be letters that are found in the child's name, which is generally learned first as well. In these wonderful examples of artwork, you will find that the child will be able to describe to you what the picture is about when asked, and I do highly encourage you to do that to kind of cement this idea that you can record your ideas. In this example, you will see that there's lots of colorful scribbles, and if you look closely, there's a letter L down there at the bottom. The child's name was Lauren, and so she knew the letter L and wrote it down at the bottom. This is a very typical example of what the earliest writers will do. The next stage is the children know a few more letters perhaps, and they're beginning to make this connection between sounds and letters. In our next example here, you'll see a delightful little happy face. Isn't that wonderful? In this example, this was a Valentine that was delivered on Valentine's Day. If you look at the bottom, you will see the letters T, U, U, I, and L. You got to look very carefully, but they are there. What was going on when asked? The child responded that at the bottom, the child wanted it to say to. There, that explains the letters T, U, you, and then I love you. So in this example, yes, this is still valid writing. This is still early stages, and this should still be applauded because the child is making those connections between letter sounds and writing them down, which is a very important stage once again. This idea that I can record my writing, I can record my thinking, and come back to it later. Our next example is an example of a kindergarten student who had just gone trick-or-treating the night before. In this example, you will see that we definitely have a lot of inventive spelling. In this example, it does say, we get lots of candy. And I know the temptation is whenever you see a piece of writing like this is to freak out. Oh my goodness, they've misspelled all of these words. But I want you to calm down and take a look at what the child has done correctly. What did the child do correctly? And celebrate that first. It's also very important when a child is at the stage of inventive spelling, which is a legitimate stage, they are problem solving. They're taking what they already know about phonemic sounds and what they know about words and sentences, and they're using it to problem solve words that they might not know the correct spelling of. And that needs to be applauded and encouraged. But let's talk about what to do with this particular child. We get lots of candy. If you look very carefully at how she spelled the word of, O-V, makes sense? If you listen to the word of, it makes sense. She gave it a try with the letters O-V. That is not the correct spelling of the word of. At this point, we took the time to pause and learn the word of and the correct spelling, writing it in rice or sand, practice writing it a few times, and then posting it up on the wall so she could refer to it later. I did not, at that time, correct all of the spelling. I did not correct the word candy. That would come later, on a later day. At this point, I just wanted to focus on one word at a time. I didn't want to overwhelm her, and I didn't want her to feel bad about making too many errors. If you focus on too many errors at once, the child is just going to end up being frustrated and feeling like a lot less likely to want to participate or to free write in the future. So remember, with those early writers, encourage, 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 and even those scribbles from your toddler are the beginnings of writing, and that's a wonderful thing. And with those inventive spellers, go ahead and encourage them, but don't try to correct too much too soon. Make sure that you're celebrating what they're doing correctly and focus on just one word at a time. Happy writing.